How is Josie treating you?
Oh, so far so good, man.
Yeah.
So far so good. It's been some time since I came this side, because
Yeah.
I remember the last time I came here for almost the same vibe as now was last year February, and that was before we were hit by this COVID.
Yeah.
And I also came back again, but for a different vibe.
Okay.
It was for podcasting seminar hosted at Bram,
Yeah.
99 Juta.
Okay. How did that seminar go, man? Because I was a bit concerned, if I can use that word.
Sure.
Because you're all the way in Free State.
Yeah.
And you're organizing a gig this side.
Yeah.
I was really concerned, but just go ahead. How did it go for you?
I can't really say it was what I had imagined.
Yeah.
Or what I had wanted, rather. Okay, we did have the parts where we had to like cancel some of the things that were on the roster for the day, because some of the guests couldn't come through, so we were only left with like only 3 people on the panel out of the panel of 6 or 7 people. So we had to like chop some of the sections out, and we had a short seminar there.
Yeah.
So if everyone was there, we would have broken down this whole podcasting thing into many segments, but but it didn't work quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who were you working with this side? Who was this side assisting you with the seminar?
Nobody.
So how were you doing it then?
I was doing it via emails and phone calls. Like every morning, every evening, on my phone, on my laptop, talking to the people from the venue. I think it was the people from the venue who were like most helpful. Then there's a guy from Spreadview, who also came through for me with the sound, with the screen actually. Everything went fine except for the fact that some people couldn't show up. But shout out to everyone who came through. Shout out to everyone who gave us time to sit down with them, especially Upushe, and Carlo from Deep Town Josie. Those people, they were like there in time, showed up in time. So but it was worth the experience.
Why was it worth the experience?
Because if I didn't counter any of those difficulties, I wouldn't have learned.
Okay.
So it was more like a lesson, so that if maybe next time I'm trying to do the same thing, it would be different, slightly different, like more like working with the people that I'm really sure that will be there, and the people who will be assisting me, because I was doing it alone. So at least this time I will have people who are coordinating from this side.
Sort of like you'll have a team.
Yeah.
The people who didn't pitch up, did you pay for them?
They were actually supposed to get the Zaga at the venue. So it was Zaga for transport.
Okay.
So actually they cancelled because of commitment.
Other commitments?
Yeah.
So they double booked themselves?
I don't know. Maybe it was that, because with everyone that I checked up with, by the time when I was asking, hey, are you still coming through? They were occupied by that time. So
okay, interesting.
Yeah. I know.
No, that's very interesting.
I know.
Okay, what's your real name, man? For those who don't know you. What's your real name, and what's your stage name?
This is Modise Donald. Ne? Well, at home they call me Tato.
Title. Yeah.
Yeah. This is Modise Donald. Stage name changed from Smalls to Klein. Smalls came about. Yeah.
I understand the smalls.
Yeah.
Because when you came towards me, I was surprised that you are this short. I'm like,
Yeah, it's actually, Klein is the Dutch name for small. So.
Oh.
Yeah, so
you're one of those guys who do a lot of research.
Yeah. So I used to go by the name Smalls.
Yeah.
That's when I started DJing in 2013. Then I think it was 2016 when I changed my name to Klein. Because there was someone who went by the name Small, but called themselves Smalls suddenly. So I had to change my name because it was a bit confusing when people started seeing the name on flyers and posters for it.
Oh, they're confused. Who's who?
Yeah, are you going to play there? And like, oh, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. So.
And the two of you, are you playing the same genre?
No. No.
You Deep and he's playing, what is he playing?
He plays everything.
Oh, he's a DJ.
Yeah, he's a DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then the name Klein came about from Patrick Zygon. Patrick Zygon, friend from Germany.
Yeah.
He was supposed to visit South Africa, but things couldn't go as planned.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was looking for a name to replace Small. So
okay.
Why don't you just call yourself Klein? And I thought Kleiner, and a Kleiner means a girl. So
okay.
So, yeah, it's not Kleiner, it's Klein. Yeah.
Now, when you started in 2013, what did you start with?
From the get-go, man, I was a deep house guy.
Yeah.
I was a deep house guy, playing music from Clapton, him, Patrick Zygon, most of the music from his label Bioto. That's how I got to gather all the idea of who Smalls is during that time. And I started also playing tech. You know, tech house was fashionable then. It was fashion kokas when you play tech. To everyone, it was deep house. So from there, started shifting, and I think in the space of 3 months, that's how all that happened. Like in the space of 3-4 months. Then came 2015.
Yeah.
That's when I discovered myself fully. That's when I decided to also go into doing a Deepinit Podcast. Yeah. So I was actually everything deep guy until 2014 when I started focusing more on techno or dub techno, and my first mix came out in 2014 later. I think it was around September, October. Came out from by then it was one of the biggest podcasts, Kokasi. It's Colorblind House Sessions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's popular back in Free State.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in Free State is it popular? Qwaqwa.
Yeah.
Okay. So not that it's popular in the province, it's just Qwaqwa.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of it lately.
Yeah.
I think the owner might have been too busy with other things.
Yeah.
But around that time, 2012, 13, 14, 15, yeah, Colorblind during that time was the platform where everyone from Kokasi wanted to be. So, okay, and then they came the birth of other podcasts.
So Colorblind was like the first one
that I knew.
That you knew.
That I knew of is actually UFSD Vibrations.
Yeah.
It's a collective from University of the Free State then. The group used to call themselves UFSD Vibrations. And I grew from that podcast. I got to listen to soulful house, tech house, deep house, progressive, all that. It was a collective that catered on everything nice, everything that most people weren't paying attention to during that time. So, and also shout out to them for doing that. Yeah.
How old were you when you started?
2013, I was 17.
You were 17?
Yeah.
Okay.
17. Yeah. I was
and you're still in school, I think.
Yeah, grade 11. Actually, the music fever hit when I was in grade 10, 2012. Used to like have lots of music on my phone. Like it was for listening pleasure.
Oh, piracy.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that. Yeah, used to pirate lots of music, obviously. Oh, except for the fact that my uncle used to buy like compact disc. So I would take the CDs, then they would be mine, so that I got the other knowledge of how or why music is important when you buy it, rather when you have an MP3 from a dodgy site.
Yeah. Okay, so 2015, you now know what sound you want to play as Klein, and then you started your podcast.
Yeah.
Where do you start? What I mean is, how do you know what to do?
That one thing, the first thing that you do with when you want to start a podcast, research.
Yeah.
You research. Because for me, first thing that I did was I had a couple of names written down that I would want to name as a podcast.
Okay.
And I did the research like on, even on Facebook, you can do research from Facebook.
Yeah.
If there on search, you just search Deepinit, then it will show you how many Deepinit posts are there or pages or whatever. And then you go on Google, you also search for Deepinit. Then
sometimes you even use a hashtag to make sure there's nothing similar.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I went as far as that, like checking Deepinit Podcast. Okay, there's nothing like that. So this is the podcast. Okay, this is what I want.
All right.
Took the name, created a group chat. It was me, Lofty, Navy Deep, and we had a guy called Lebohang.
Yeah.
Yeah. In there, suggested a name, gents, this is what I want. Actually, no, before then, I went to them separately.
Okay.
Spoke to them separately and see.
Who are these people? Are these your friends, your classmates?
Yeah, they were, actually, they still are. They're my friends.
Yeah.
So from the knowledge of just playing music for like, we're just good at playing music, that was it.
Yeah.
To why don't you just come up with something, go it from there.
Yeah.
And then Deepinit was born February 2015.
Sure.
Came up with the name, started gathering ideas around what is podcasting, how do we work around that, who do we want to feature, and I also came across, they say it's a principle.
Okay.
A principle of podcasting, and it says, if you want to do a podcast, do something that is not out there yet.
All right.
So you just come up with something that is you, something that is not out there. So that's so that's what I did.
I think I get what we're trying to say. Try to be unique.
Yeah. Okay. So principle that says, don't do something that is already out there. Yeah. Okay. So that's how we got together and did the research on what is it that should be happening. We worked on release schedule, worked on and one most important thing is the graphics.
Okay.
Yeah, quality graphics. They key also.
All right.
So we also had to talk to the guy from Vividly Descriptive Designs,
All right.
Ndupe, and shout out to him. He's been with us since. He's doing a greatest job. And from there, from the research, looking into what actually makes a podcast, like the platforms that we can use and how do we use them. And from there, we just went forward.
Now, how did you know which platform to choose? And why did you have to choose it? And what were the benefits to use that platform?
The hottest then, during that time.
What, Podomatic?
It was, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was the hottest. You know, when you want to release a mix, you just Podomatic, my name is, log in, create something, then you just put it out there. Podomatic was the first option because already there were podcasts who were doing good on Podomatic. So we just shifted from there, like straight into Podomatic. But when time went by, I did another research. And the research was...
Sorry, now, at that moment, what were the benefits of
the
Podomatic?
benefits of Podomatic, it's the stats.
Oh.
Stats. You know, when you start seeing more people downloading your mix, it means, okay, we are getting better and better. You know, moving from 10 streams and 10 downloads to 100 of that. So that was the biggest benefit, where we could see that, okay, here, at least we can see our market. We can see that if we share music from, in the groups that are locally, then we get more people downloading. But if we share more into the groups where it is international, not many people pay attention. So yeah.
Okay.
That was the benefit.
And then as time went on, you changed.
Then I did a research, found out that there's Mixcloud. I think that's when I went like, okay, I think this is what I'm looking for, because also on the research there came the concept that was saying streaming is the future. People need to spend more time in buying data. That was the flop anyway, but still our struggle even now. So Mixcloud came about, started shifting all our mixes from Podomatic to Mixcloud, because Podomatic also our bandwidth. We had to go for pro account. And by then I couldn't afford anything. Still had just finished matric. I am not really sure of what is it that I should be doing and shouldn't be doing. So discovered Mixcloud, went with Mixcloud, and we're still on Mixcloud even now. And it's
Mixcloud doesn't have any limit, am I correct? Yeah.
It's not limited. You don't pay for a pro account. For you actually have to pay for pro account. You don't pay for bandwidth.
Okay.
Which is the advantage of it.
But the buffering, it takes time. Like let's say I'm looking for a mix that was released 5 years ago.
Yeah.
To play it, you
takes
wait
some
for
time.
ages.
So it's more like you click play and then you have to wait for the whole mix to load. But if you have a good network then during that time, you can listen to the whole mix without any hiccups. Even now, they did an update actually, where they were saying, okay, we are aware of such problems. Now we have to like update the whole system. And when they changed their logo, they also changed the system. That's when they introduced things like Mixcloud Select.
Which is like your pro account, and it's for content creators.
Yeah, the content creators, more like if people feel like, okay, these people deserve to get paid, then they can like, okay, subscription, $3 in 30 days. Every 30 days you pay $3. Not bad. Not bad.
Okay, I'll reserve my comments for now. I'll reserve. How's the scene, the deep house scene in Qwaqwa?
Fascinating.
I sense some sarcasm there. Why is it fascinating?
Because there's the gens from as young as my sister is 12, 13. My sister listens to deep house. As young as 12, 13, they are already listening to that sound. So even when you are playing it somewhere, they can already relate, which makes it easy. It means it's easy for other people older for them to understand, because even the kids now understand it. It means they learned it from the elders. So the most fascinating part is that, like, I was surprised to find buddy nice music on my sister's phone. FK Mash, Judy J, yeah, like so the scene is exciting because the young ones, even when you do a mixtape, a guy who is in grade 7, 8 comes knocking at your door saying, "Ish, I can't download this mix. How do I do it?"
So the culture in Qwaqwa, basically, it's more on underground. Can I just use the term and say it's underground?
Yeah, mostly the techish sound, tech house, progressive, the techish.
And then your soulful sounds?
I think there's about less than 10 DJs who play soulful house.
Yo?
Like, yeah.
It's not that diverse.
Is there a genre called Afro Soul? Something.
No, it's either it's Afro or it's soul.
Okay, yeah. There, somewhere there. They play that sound and it's nice. But locally produced.
Oh, I get what you mean.
Yeah, that's
the sound similar to say LSG sort of.
Yeah, not too far from there.
Yes. They use a lot of Afro, but it's soulful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
when you go to track source, they don't categorize it as Afro soul. It's either they call it Afro or it's soulful. I don't know how they come to that, but I'm assuming it's based on the elements which are dominating in the song.
Yeah, because okay, I think we'll talk about genres later.
Okay, so Qwaqwa, even young kids are listening to deep tech.
Yeah.
And they're influenced by the elders of the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the only thing with the club scene, that's where it's different.
How is it different?
You know, the sound dominating now is what we dance to every weekend.
All right.
So it becomes difficult for the people who are at the clubs to like sit there that long just to hear Amapiano. You want to sit there for the whole 10 hours just to listen to 2 hours of Amapiano. They want straight whole day of Amapiano. So the club culture there, it has grown to being different. It has grown to being different to the extent that people started doing their own home sessions. And I've seen the gents who are doing very well now with their Sunday sessions. Deep Light Sundays. It's a collective also. They go from club to club. This Sunday they are here, the next Sunday they are at the other. So they are like neutralizing or trying to win the market of deep house over. And I'm really happy that they're doing that, because the very same people in that are the people who are running podcasts. So it makes it even more exciting, because people already know them via the mixes. Now they get to hear them playing live. And with also the clubs, I think Deep House is no longer getting enough time. But I'm sure it's not only there. I'm pretty much sure. So this wave that we are riding now, we just have to like make sure that we start doing our own things like the gents are already doing. Find a venue, do something there, win your own market or create your own thing. Teach people what you want them to. Fair. So we shouldn't attack the genre. We should be fixing the ground itself. So you start your own thing, you win people who are still interested in what you're doing or who still want the number. Yeah, they'll definitely support. So don't attack the genre.
So in your hood, kids from a young age, they're already tuned into deep house.
Yeah.
And you're saying the club scene is more of commercial music, like Amapiano, and
Sure.
there are guys who are doing the Sunday sessions. When you started, what difficulties did you encounter? First as a DJ before you started doing podcasting. Yeah.
Then I was young and naive, and I just wanted to be out there. Didn't care much about most of the things. As long as I get an invite, get to HouseNamba, then I'm celebrated the next day, I'm going back home. And then there came the time when I started growing in the scene, when I realized that, oh, there's actually money in this market. So now we're moving to what is it that the industry can do for me? Because I've been giving this much music to the scene. Now it's time for the scene to give back. So that's one most difficult thing, because you try to do a gig at a club, try to negotiate the funds, and then the club will tell you, "Ish, we don't have Zaga, but the least that we can do is we can cater for everyone's hospitality." Yeah, well, so we got used to, or we started relaxing that, okay, this is all about love. We just play music just to like get there, play the music, the drinks are there, food is there, then go back home. The next day you are celebrated. Yo, Ntwana, your set wasn't so good. Yeah, you are going. Keep up the good work. Next weekend you are there. And 2013, I became a resident DJ of a tavern. Still young and wanting to be out there. Became a resident DJ, hosted Sunday sessions. So it was more like the guy took me in and said, okay, I will teach you how it's done. So by then I was even more grateful because someone was doing everything freely. You know, like, this is how you connect the sound. This is how you invite a DJ to a session. This is how you coordinate everything at a session. This is what you do when the session is over. 17 years, 3 months experience, sharp. Didn't pay much attention there, but reflect into all those now that I'm able to do a session without any hiccups. And it's because of what I had learned from the guy, KG, then. So the money wasn't really important then. It was all the love and wanting to be out there. So now that I know that finances are mostly important, because my mom would at times get mad at me that you went out the whole weekend, it's Monday. There's no even, okay, tshwara borotho. Because I remember one time she said, you need to stop what you're doing because it's not working for you.
Okay.
You're always out on weekends.
Mm.
You're not studying.
Mm.
You go out, come back, you're tired, sleep the whole day, at night you're out again. Come the next morning, you're hungry. All that you have with you is transport to go at the same place where you come from. So started going back. Like, okay, now I need to focus on me.
Didn't KG though talk to you about the finances of this thing? He didn't. Okay.
Yeah. So he like just taught me everything except for the funds.
Yeah.
So that I had to find on my own
Mm.
when I started getting invites out of that place.
Okay.
Okay. When I get an invite at this other place, they offer to pay me this much amount. I don't ask, or they don't ask how much do I want. They just say, okay, here we work like this. Every guest DJ who is invited here is getting this much. Is it fair? I'm like, okay. This is actually how it's done. People have to get paid. Sadly, the club it closed, so we started struggling where we can find a home of what we love.
So the club catered for the sound.
Yeah, a lot. A lot. It was the home of it. The home of it. So everyone who grew up in Qwaqwa, if you were to mention Badix, they know Badix, you're going to get there 6 p.m. number until the next morning 6 a.m. number. So
Deep house, wire.
yeah. So you could tell. That's how most of us became like too much into what we were doing, because we would see the ones who came before us how they wanted the scene to be better. But yeah, things change by time. So you can't really fight the time.
Yeah, no, you cannot. When change comes, it comes.
You should just acknowledge the change.
Back home, do they have any DJing schools?
No.
Does the government maybe try to help out the youth when it comes to the entertainment industry, sport, art, and culture?
Hey, government is screwing everything, ne? As kids, I just wanted you to admit that it does. Well, government is actually supposed to be helping the artist, but it's not helping the artist. So I'm not going to mention only the DJ side, but there are artists,
the entertainment industry as a whole. Yes.
There's a fund that came out for the industry. I don't think anyone in Qwaqwa has had that money. And Qwaqwa, there's lots of poets, lots of singers, performers, like good people.
Well, where does Prince KP come from? Prince KP, where does it come from?
I don't know, is it
Bloem?
Bloem? Otsoko Bloem. Prince KP Cup, Otsoko. I don't know. Bloem. Yeah, Free State, but I don't know. Bloem or Tabanchu.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, no.
So basically it's tough. Yeah, you guys are on your own.
Yeah.
Back home.
Yeah, like the government isn't doing anything for us. Because there used to be this other event, man, where they would invite the local DJs, mix them with Diponso. Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, it was a government-funded event where it catered for everyone who's into arts, be it like everything design, everything music, everything poetry. It was in that one blanket. It was like Makufe. But you know, the government is the government. Eh? You always have people who keeping money for themselves and less for the less fortunate. So I'm sure even if you were to ask some of the gents who performed Kodiponso, if they ever got paid. But there's some who got paid who are at the most advantage. So Mizi was there at one of the shows.
Yeah.
And obviously it was a good cash. And okay, maybe what I was going to say now was going to get me into trouble. Let me say it anyway. So there was a time when I was looking for funding, wanted to do an event, and one of the guys who, I don't know if he's still a DJ or not, used to work in the offices there. And it was the time when they were organizing that whole event, that 4-day event, or it was a 5 days event. And he was on the call and he mentioned millions that are going to be used for the shows. So it worries me that there's millions who are getting out to help the people, to help the culture, the artists, but there's nothing that is being done for the same artists. So I dislike the government with my whole being. So people shouldn't focus on what the government can do for them.
Yeah.
So what is it that you can do for yourself?
Yeah.
Now, it's every man for himself now. The government is no longer that important anymore.
So you make the change that you want to see.
Yeah, and I've been preaching that. This is what you actually do. You don't voice. You take action. You are the change. You don't just sit back and say, no, the government is doing this and it's wrong. What is it that you are doing to make the changes? What advices are you giving to people? What is it that you're doing to get the word out there? So there's a guy, Shocks the Rebel, he's a poet. He's the Malcolm X of Kasi. He's a poet. He's striving for everyone's power. Like everyone should be where they should be. He's that one guy that I say for me is doing a lot for the industry.
Okay. So now you are learning that money can be made in the scene. What's your first move to try and make money?
With DJing?
DJing and podcast.
Okay. I'll start with DJing because podcasting is a bit longer.
It's a specialty.
Yeah. So with the music, it's just bookings. It's bookings and the merch. That's the two best that you can do. The two best that you can do, because say you are booked in an event, then you know you are worth 5K.
How do you know your worth? How do you determine it? What do you use to get to that worth?
To say you are worth that much amount? I'll say for me personally, I'll say I'm worth this much amount because of what I have achieved. So if you book me, what is it that I'm going to do for your event? So it's more like you are paying for the service that I'm going to deliver. Yeah, well, so I would rate myself based on, if you book me, how many people can I bring to your gig?
But isn't that part, a promoter's part, bringing people to the event? You are, in my understanding, or someone else would say, you are a DJ. You are supposed to go there, play the music, and provide the service. You are gone.
There's actually people who come to shows to listen to a certain DJ playing, then they leave. A DJ can carry 10 people who are just here to listen to him. Then after he said, they're like, see you next time. We vibe. That's,
So how
that's
do
what
you
I'm actually.
how do you know how many followers can you bring to an event?
Past weekend Saturday, sent inboxes. I'll be around. I know the gents. If I tell 5 people, they can bring 3, each one of them. So I'm bringing more. I'm not only bringing myself. So I'm actually bringing my own people to bring their people. So for me, that's only fair that I'm able to convince people to come and listen to my set, that I'm sure that they can like sit there until I leave also.
Or until the event is over.
So obviously they're going to buy more booze. They're going to buy from the shop, then we here. We plum until the booze is all done. So by the time that we're still there, if they run out of beer, obviously they're going back to the counter, then they're going to plum again. What is it that you can do for the club so that the club can give back to you?
To me, it's questionable that you can use that, because there are some events that have a lot of numbers. They just
Yeah.
So to use that as a factor, as a determining wage, if I can say that, it's questionable. It's debatable.
Yeah,
I can debate it.
So since we already know that if I want 5K, I can't get 5K.
Yeah.
So I will at least go for half of that. So that when I carry my merch to the event, I can sell my merch, then I can reach the amount that I actually should have wanted.
And then
so
how
you're not putting any pressure on the event organizer.
To pay you the money you want.
Money that you want, because you actually might want 5K, and that's the amount that they can't really pay.
Sure.
So you try to at least try to understand that, okay, let me be fair to the event organizer. Let me just chop my my payment in half, and I'll get the rest for myself.
So you tell the event organizer that at least allow me to sell my merchandise.
Yeah.
Okay. Before you get to the event, how have you promoted your merchandise?
Photographers were there. So Tidiso was there, took photos, then shared them on Facebook. One guy came, bought one, wore it the same time. So everyone started wanting to know, why is this here? Who does this mesh belong to? And you get the new market, you get new
now
followers.
what if you share my Ashida?
Hi.
Because I think the way you play correlates with your match.
Exactly. Because you can't be playing horses throughout and still expect people to come and buy the merch. So for me, all I did, actually I'll keep on mentioning the previous event, the Saturday, because I think everything that you are asking now can
relate.
Yeah, it relates to everything that had happened. So I am there at the event. I need to do my best. That's one thing that comes in mind. Dish out the best set if I can. Then by just doing that, I win the people who might be my customers later. People will be asking, who's this short guy? The skinny one. It's Klein. All right, him. His Facebook name there. Click on my profile. all the matches there. Now they start wanting to buy the match. Now I have someone who is a follower, a new follower, and someone who just made my sales better.
So you have to make sure that your selection and mixing skill are always top.
Top notch.
Yeah.
Always.
Because that represents what you might sell in the future.
Yeah.
All right.
So people always want to know if they see someone wearing Deepinit Podcast t-shirt somewhere. Oh, that guy who was playing it was wearing this t-shirt. What's with this t-shirt? Go back and look for the info around that. Then okay, now we know. It's only fair.
As a DJ, your online presence, how much is it? How important is it? Because now, as we're talking, I'm thinking, okay, you DJ, when you're at the event, you have to make sure you make people happy and then sell your merch. But now, what about those who only see your merch online and they've never seen you live?
Yeah.
They see your podcast, they listen to your podcast, but I believe that playing live convince people that you are good. So I'm trying to get now, how important is your online presence?
Crucial.
Do live. I mean, I haven't seen you doing lives.
Yeah, actually, I always try to go for quality, so
okay,
that's what's limiting me most of the time. Like, that's a threat to doing podcasts without having the equipment that fits or that matches the standard of where you are now or how your podcast is. I can't do live videos now because I'm limited. I don't want to take out my phone and record the speakers. I need to come up with clean sound, something that will convince other people out of my circle that this is good content. I can't do live videos. I use the cheapest phone. So I don't want to risk it.
No, it's good because it shows that you understand your brand.
Yeah.
And you understand how the market reacts. And I think that's a good thing. So all of this understanding, where does it stem from? Is it through experience or still it comes from research?
Both. Because the more I research, the more I find out how some of the things are mostly important. But for me, it has always been research and, listening to other podcasts or seeing what other podcasts are doing. Like, what is it that I'm doing that will make my podcast better or at least reach the same standard as the podcast that I was listening to? Try to balance the things, because I also learned that a podcast follows a podcast. Like, if I have a mix that is out and someone wants to feature me on their podcast, it means they went through my podcast first, see if it fits well. So for some others, they rude. Hey, I'm sharply mixtape. Others are that rude. And then when you can't record a mix for them, they bash you. So it's quite a tough one. But I think we're getting there. People are starting to feel that when my podcast looks this way, it means this is how it's done, maybe. Because for me, deeper shades and deep inspiration, they've always been like my references. They've been my references through time.
Those podcasts are like your benchmark.
Yeah.
Okay, sharp. you hear the sound, you hear the sound quality, you hear the music that they're playing. How did you get the equipment to have the podcast that you have? What are you using to match their standard?
Well, not really the equipment as such. I'm using Mixmaster. So with Mixmaster, I get to understand like what I'm doing. Like it's actually different from when you're mixing on virtual DJ. So there you are working with manipulating the song. So there's parts, if you don't want this part where it's swearing, you can like go and chop that part because you're doing a mix for radio maybe. Yeah. So that one is, it's almost like a DAW. Your
Okay, well, what's a
your
DAW?
workstation.
Okay, yeah.
Your workstation is about Pro Tools, Fruity Loops.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the DAWs. Those are the
Alright.
workstations.
Okay.
It's digital audio workstation.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. So with that, you get the advantage of actually doing a mix, like giving yourself time. You not like you're taking one take, then if you did mistakes, you'll re-record again. No, that one you can save the session as it is, and then you still go back and fix it where you think, okay, the mixing here is bad. Let me tweak with the waves. So that one, I don't know if many people will understand it because we actually used to the hardware look, which is the virtual DJ for most people. So we've been using Mixmaster, and now, I feel even more confident when I open it. Like, yeah, I know this. I can do a mix quickly for someone who needs a mix maybe tomorrow or something. Yeah, can do a quick mix. If I need voices there, I can like go and create a track for a track line, input there, shift it along the tracks where I want the. Actually, I did that with my Deepinit, one of the Deepinit Podcast mixes.
Okay.
Where there's like lots of voices.
Yeah.
The voices from NASA, the sound from NASA, the sound of a baby who's crying, those are like recorded, and I put them in the mix, and people still can't. I'm sure people can't tell. There's voices of the live recorded stuff.
So do you have equipment like CDJs and a mixer?
No, so I just use that from my laptop.
Then it means things are easy. Back in my days, man.
Needed turntables and a mixer.
Okay, well, I'm not that old in the game. I'm very young. I started DJing in 2010.
Yeah.
Because DJs didn't want to do opening sets. I was an event organizer.
Sure.
Yeah. So after realizing that, I had to buy Pioneer CDJ 100. So every time I had to do a mixtape, I had to plug those in. And
if there's anyone who's willing to donate their CDJs 100s, please.
You want them?
So bad.
So you're willing to burn CDs?
I've been burning CDs since I began. So the 100s are like my favorites. They're like the best that I've used. Because there you don't have the BPM. You have to be a DJ. You have to be a disc jockey. Like, you know, it was more fun. Like, now everyone looks at the BPM, shift 13, 113, 113, sharp. Mix, good.
The only thing they need to do is just timing.
Yeah, even now it's getting worse. Sync matches the other one, you just mix, done.
So in that instant, the CDJs are linked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want CDJ content.
I assume you started with CDJ 100s. Yeah.
That's why I love them so much, because one person was saying it separates boys from men. I don't know why, but then those CDJs are what separates the people who started then and the people who started now. Not boys from men.
You know how people can be, man, especially on social media,
with
their politics. So now back to your podcast.
Yeah.
You use said it's called a Mixmaster.
Sure.
Sharp. What else do you use? What else do you need to start a podcast?
Besides doing more research and having something that you can use to record the mixes, a software that you can use to record the mixes, I think you need to know your stuff. Man.
What do you mean by stuff?
You need to know what is it that you want. You don't just wake up and say, okay, I want to do a podcast. What's your aim? What's your mission? What's your vision? What are the values?
Wait, it's like, you sound like you're talking about a business plan here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The mission, the vision, the values. What is it that you want from it? Because even with the DJ, you just don't wake up and say, I want to be Black Coffee. Well, someone did that. Straight told them, I'm fine, I can't help you. And the other one, I had to ignore him totally until now. Because if you start saying, I don't like, but let's let this guy. Hi, you're not being yourself.
No. But can't I use someone as an example because I'm inspired by them?
There's a referencing,
yeah,
and then there's wanting to do exactly everything that guy does. The reference, if you were to look at Deeper Inspiration Show, Deeper Shades of House, and my podcast, you won't tell that those two are the inspiration.
Oh, okay, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
You don't copy them.
You don't
copy the music.
You don't copy the style. No. So if I feel that you don't want to be yourself, how do I help you? I think it's only fair that you come to me saying, hey man, I want to be myself.
Help me identify myself.
Yeah, help me be myself. Okay, now we can talk.
Okay.
So it's difficult, I know, but we can do it.
Yeah.
It can be done.
Okay, as you were saying, I must have a vision, I must have values, etc. Yeah.
So that for me, that's what makes you, it actually sets you more goals. Once you know that, okay, by now I want to achieve a certain thing. Maybe it can be a long term or short term because you're not really sure if the game would have changed in the next few months or years. So you don't really put, you don't put all the vision out there. Some of the things you just do them slowly. Like now that we wanted to do this, Mixcloud started introducing this. Now we have to shift to that, So, it actually takes more than you just saying, I want to better myself, or I want to better my podcast.
My concern again with podcast is we're giving a lot of content to these platforms. You hear this, your Podomatic, your Mixcloud, your SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Using Deeper Shades of House as an example, they use their own website.
Yes.
To attract people to first listen on our site, then download from our site. Maybe after a week, then you can find it on Mixcloud, etc.
Yeah.
Why don't most South African podcasters do that? What's stopping them? What are the common red tapes or boundaries?
We don't pay much attention to that. That's what sets us different from other people. I did mention last time that I had a website. Then
yes.
it had to shut down because I couldn't pay it for a certain time. Yeah. So we don't pay much attention to how crucial it is to have the people who support you first before they support the content that is running from the sites. Like, okay, Kondi has a website. Is it only him? Oh, Soulful Packs, I saw that. But yeah, those people who have, actually for Kondi, it's fair that he has all the mixes. You can download them from his website, not from alternatives. Yeah, so with that, that's where the copyright comes in. So do we know much about the copyright as DJs and podcasters? No. Let's see. So it's something that we should actually, everyone should be doing more research on, so that by the time they want to do certain things, they're like, okay, we are sure that we want to do this.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We are not, mixes are not supposed to be downloaded.
Yeah, they're actually supposed to be streamed.
Not downloaded.
But remember, podcast or podcasting means having the audio file or the copy of the audio file for listen later. That's podcasting.
But the apps today allow you to download on your profile, not on your phone.
Yes.
So in other words, if you are offline, you can still listen on the app.
Yes. So that's why I said streaming is the future. Because now streaming makes it fair that I don't keep the copy of this mix, but I can at least go back and listen. So the more I listen to that mix, the more money the artist who is featured on the mix can get his money. The chances are, if I'm paying for a pro account on Mixcloud, and then I play the mix, okay, everyone plays the mix 100 times. The mix has been listened to 100 times. The track of the person who's featured on the mix got picked up by Mixcloud. So the artists are getting their money. They are getting their royalties. So with the ones where you can't put the playlist where there's no track list section when you're uploading a mix, it worries me that what is it that those sites are doing for the artists? Are they giving back or are they just taking from the artists? But then
you're raising something which I think is always a debate.
Yeah.
Track listing.
Track listing.
Some DJs don't want to share their track list.
They don't want to share their track list. Yes, it's fair that they feel like, yo, we spent on this, yo. If they actually bought the music.
Yeah.
And then there's people who feel that, okay, since I don't want to put the playlist out there or the track list out there, I can use Mixcloud. Put the track list there. When you are playing the mix, because what's convincing with this is we want more playtime. So when someone is playing the mix, then the name and the artist pops up there with the option buy. You can just click on buy. Opens it in TrackSource maybe or Beatport and other sites, because they are all interlinked. So you can just click there and buy the track. So what you did is you gave back the artist twice, the royalties and the new customer.
I get it.
Sure. So, but I'm not saying the SoundCloud and the others are not being useful, because anyway, we try to be fair to them also. Like track list, people can start following from there, get the track, buy the track. Well, others actually prefer when people inbox them. I had a certain track. What's the name of the track? Oh, that one. it's only fair because you also listened to the mix. Well, it's actually a long thing, but there's no really a formula of how it's done, or why should people be actually giving away track lists. But it's only fair that you give back to the artist.
Okay. And the platform that at the moment you keep on mentioning, which gives most or which gives an opportunity for artists to make money, it seems like it's Mixcloud.
Yeah.
Mixcloud.
But also, if you are an artist on Hear This, not DJs, artists where you put your music, you sell your music directly. So a person can just listen to your track. If it's nice, then they click on PayPal. They can buy, they can actually send you money via PayPal. So I suggest that artists also create a PayPal account where they can, like, the people from outside can pay you directly. Yeah. Then I think I also saw something like that on, SoundCloud.
Yeah.
It is a content support. It's the same as the Mixcloud Select. Click, help the content creators get money. So for artists, hear this. And also, I think SoundCloud, there must be an option like that, just that I haven't looked too much into that because I'm not really an artist. And
now, where's Podomatic in all of these changes? Because you can still download on Podomatic. I know on Podomatic you are allowed to download to your device.
So Podomatic has been there since. So they're going slowly though. Because now they only introduced the PayPal or the support the content creators link recently.
Yeah.
And the other apps, the other sites are already
they're already doing it.
Yeah, they were already doing it. So
yeah,
it's a bit behind, but it's good that when you are a DJ, you pay for a pro account.
Sure, sure.
So that you get the bandwidth, you can put more tracks.
So Podomatic is more for, I usually call them enablers, or there's the other term and I just forgot, narrators. I call DJs narrators. They are not creators.
Yeah.
So Podomatic is usually for narrators because artists are not benefiting.
Yeah.
Not at all.
They just there to, like, okay, this is what has been played. This is what has been recorded here.
Okay. Now,
So,
as a narrator, as a DJ, how can I benefit from having a podcast? How do I benefit from uploading mixes every single month?
How can you benefit from doing mixes actually?
And having a podcast.
Okay.
I want to make money from having a podcast. How do I go about it?
Monetizing.
Yes, monetizing my podcast.
Now we're talking monetizing.
Yes.
Yeah. So people shouldn't be surprised when podcasters or everyone who's a DJ is selling merchandise. That is more like the basic of how we can pay for our services.
All right.
We pay for a pro account on
Sure.
Mixcloud. We pay for the graphics that are
Sure.
being done. We're trying to make sure that everyone is okay. Everyone is winning in that sense. And then the other monetizing system is, besides selling merch, doing events. Costly, I know, but that's one of them. Then the sites have upgraded. I just mentioned it now. They allow content creators to get paid $3 on Mixcloud, and even on YouTube you can get paid. SoundCloud you can you can get paid. But last year when I did the research, SoundCloud was saying the Pro Unlimited wasn't yet in South Africa.
Yes, it wasn't. They
Is
only
it-
introduced it, I think, in North America and Europe. I might be wrong. I understand to be corrected. Yes.
Because I saw it yesterday on the different
The
types,
updates. Yeah.
the different types of SoundCloud accounts.
Okay.
And the Pro Unlimited is in between. It's the most expensive. I know, but it's fair that if you are an artist, you have a Pro Unlimited, you pay that money. The royalties, you're getting paid your royalties. Streaming, if you want people to download, you get that. If you want people to buy, you click on support. Man, things are getting better by time.
For artists.
Yeah,
For
artists.
creators.
Yes.
Not
for artists
narrators, not DJs.
DJs, if you're on your own, you need to re-establish or come up with a way that you can make money. But obviously with DJs make money through gigs.
Merchandise, as you say.
Merchandise, doing
Events.
So monetizing systems also include getting sponsors. If I have a mix coming out, I tag Slangine that there's a mix that came out. You can enjoy our mix while you sleep. You sip on this gin. It's now a collaborative. The collaboratives can also get you somewhere. They pay for you. You can PT for us and Tiamo. It's a fair one where we say, push us, we push you. But for other people, I know they can be approaching big brands, the beer brands, the new brands, the new beer brands.
Like your 7-something.
Yes, Stripes.
And Soweto, it's Stripes something,
Yeah.
The 7-something Stripes in Soweto,
Yeah, they can actually approach that. Okay, we have a service where we have 1,000 downloads on each episode of our mixes. Can we turn this market into the people who buy your products? And you start paying for that. Monetize, collaborate.
Okay, we're running out of time, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure people are going to have a lot of questions, and I'm sure they will want guidance.
Yeah.
So, are you willing to be approached for that?
Yeah. People
Okay, sure.
can hop into my inbox.
Yeah. What's your inbox?
It's Donald Klein Modise, Facebook. So what I would actually suggest they do is, okay, maybe when we release this, they can mention everything they need to know there. And then we can answer all of them. Maybe the person who's going to ask me a question is the same as the other one. So at least if one asks the question, then we give the whole review there.
All right.
It would be better. My inbox is open, man, anytime.
So if they don't prefer Facebook Messenger, what other platforms can they use?
My number is on Facebook.
On Facebook?
No phone calls.
Yeah, just WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Okay.
Phone calls I know. Hi, Donna. Hi, Donna. Hi. Jakib. Bros will call you for anything.
Okay. Would you like to say anything else, man?
Actually, a huge shout out to everyone who's out there podcasting and everyone who's out there following our podcast, Deepinit Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Mixcloud. Everyone who's following us there, shout out to them, and shout out to Tiamo also for allowing us the collaboration. And also shout out to everyone who's out there trying to make the industry what it should be, or trying to better the industry rather. And shout out to you, man. I owe that to you. And yeah, let's all be out there trying to make sure that everything goes as it should, so that we don't have the people who are coming after us complaining that if it wasn't by us, things wouldn't be like this. So yeah,